My name's Sean Beckner, and this is my shop behind me. I want to thank everyone who's jumped on board so far. Without you guys, I wouldn't be inspired to keep going. I always love the collection videos, so I'm going to enjoy taking you along for the ride and telling you the stories behind some of the tools I have and some of the memorabilia I have in the shop. I'm 100% sentimental and appreciative of everyone in here, and you're going to see that in some of the memorabilia that I'm going to show you with family and with friends. So thank you. I love you guys. This is my 1990s Craftsman wood lathe. It's a 38-inch spindle, 15-inch inboard, and 20-inch outboard. It's got 2 horsepower motor. It has the options with different tool rests, 6 inches and 12 inches. It's got several different lathe chucks. It also has riser blocks in case I'm doing anything offset. It's got an indexing plate with a pin that runs with it, and it spins through and allows you to do indexing lines, so that way you can do complex carvings. I've got a Jacobs chuck. I also have several different types of turning tools. Some that I have are carbide, and some that I have are the old style grind and go. I have an MT2 screw center. How I keep this machine clean is I use WD-40 and a green Scotch-Brite. It works great for keeping the rust off. And for prevention, I use SC Johnson paste wax. Let's talk about the story of the lathe and how I came upon it. The best thing about this lathe is the story behind it. My friend's dad used to turn canes on it, and he would turn them for other retired friends of his. So it's a super cool project to try in the future, and I'm looking forward to it. And it's a great story behind the tool. All right, let's go check out the planer. This is my DeWalt DW735 planer. It's on a rolling cart that I can use to roll it around the shop. I got this planer a little bit before I did the maker sign. So far, it's only been through a few projects, some of them on camera, some of them off camera. This is a great planer for what I need. I need something that's small and I can move around the shop and get it out of my way. The cart is pretty cool. It's got a little foot pedal that you can push down and move it around the shop. For the price of this planer, it's not too bad. It does a pretty good job. It's not going to give you the most perfect work, but it gives me a tolerance that I'm still able to work with. A little bit of after sanding. It does give snipe, but you can do tricks to avoid it. It's got 2 speeds. One is 96 cuts per inch, and the other one is 179 cuts per inch. Next is my DeWalt DWE7491 table saw. On this table saw, I run a 10-inch glue-lined fluid blade. I needed something light and something I can move around a lot. I still have to build an outfeed table and possibly incorporate it into a permanent system. I originally got this table saw about a year ago. When I first got it, it was all out of alignment. There was a bunch of things that needed to happen, and it took me a minute to discover it. I was watching a lot of 3x3 custom videos, and she was recommending this dial indicator jig here. I'll link it in the description. Basically, this allows you to dial in this table saw. The other great thing is that this table saw is on a dolly. I'm able to move it around my shop as needed. Like I said, most things just stay out until I have to pull something in. The next tool is the first tool I was able to get when I moved into this house. This is my DeWalt miter saw. Like I said, it's the first tool I brought into my house, the first tool I was able to purchase. It's got a 96 tooth blade on it. It's got 2 of these clamps. One of them has a C clamp removed, just like my buddy Jeremy told me to do. Thank you, Jeremy. It's got extending arms, and it's also on a cart that retracts. It's great because if I need to do a lot of cuts, I can take it outside and leave the dust outside. Let's go check out the joiner. This is my 6-inch jet joiner. It was really rusted when I first got it. It's a used tool. I used PB Blaster rust remover gel, and then I stoned it afterwards and swapped the blades out. Ever since then, it's been running pretty good. It feels good to give an old tool a new life. This is my 1954 Delta 14-inch bandsaw. This is my most favorite tool in my whole shop. If you follow me, chances are you're going to find your sticker on my bandsaw. This is where I keep all the people closest to my heart. It has a 3/4 horsepower motor, and on the back of the motor plate I keep a table with all the blade speeds so that way I can reference them at any given moment. I always use Timberwolf blades, and I keep my bearings oiled, and I occasionally spray it down with WD-40 and re-clean it up. I have my own guide blocks. They're made out of steel. I prefer steel above the bearings. I just like it when they grab the teeth a little bit better. I like to feel like the blade is secure. It's got new tires on it, and I put a Cobra coil system in the back of the bandsaw for tensioning. It has a step pulley system for switching it to metal or wood. I also have a blade tensioner kit. I don't always need it, but it's still a cool thing to have. That way I can reference to it if I need to. If you follow me on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok, chances are you see me do some Bandsaw Cowboy stuff. Bandsaw Cowboy was started by Jimmy DiResta, and me and a bunch of other guys jumped on board. You might have seen some of the chess pieces I've cut out or some of the reels I've made. If you own a bandsaw, feel free to jump in on the Bandsaw Cowboy hashtag. We love everyone who's jumping in and joining us. This is my grandpa's toolbox. He left it to me. He had a stroke and wasn't able to use it anymore. He had just bought it and suffered a pretty heavy stroke. He lives up in Gaylord, Michigan, and after seeing my videos, he wanted to make sure that I had a nice toolbox to work with, so he left it to me, and I cannot thank him enough. It means the world to me that I have a space to put my tools and a space to keep some sentimental items in here. So this is my big red Craftsman toolbox. Thank you, Grandpa. This is my 110 MIG welder. I got this from the same grandpa that gave me the red toolbox. You've seen this on a few projects, such as the birdcage light that I made with the pole chain. It runs on 75-25 gas. Most of the time I'm welding on the max capacity that this welder can weld on. It can take straight copper wire or flux core. I have plans to get a 220 welder in the future, but for now this will do. When I was 14 years old, my best friend and his family took me in as one of their own. His grandpa's name was Bruce Ferber. He owned the machinist toolbox that stands behind me. Bruce taught me and Michael. Me and Hutch both live with single moms, so we would often learn things the hard way. Bruce was there to make sure we did things right. He passed away a few years back, and Michael gave me a call and he says, "Hey, I see what you're doing. So is my mom and my aunts, and we want you to come get his stuff." And that's how I got this toolbox. Thank you, Hutch. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Robin. This is my Craftsman drill press. You might have seen this in the Apple Crate video. Along with this drill press, I also have a 12-inch Harbor Freight disc sander. For anyone on the fence about buying one, I can tell you it's a really great sander to start off with. Another cool thing you'll find in my shop is I have a few different patents up on the wall. They were made by my great-grandpa, Francis C. Callahan. He went on to create 3 different machines for carpeting, and those machines were for making padding material. The other one was for putting latex on fabrics. Think of like the rubber underneath the bottom of the carpet. This would also get used in the future for like Dr. Scholl's shoes, stuff like that. And then he also had one that had a method for making tufted material. I keep these up on the wall for inspiration, to remind myself that anything is possible. He did get remarried and the money did go a separate way, but that doesn't mean that they still can't inspire me. And of course, I take a huge inspiration from Jimmy DiResta. You can find nuances in my edits. Jimmy's been nothing but the best to me and many others in the community. Without him, I wouldn't be here. You'll also find the hat that my dad left here. My dad is my hugest inspiration. It's because of him I'm not scared of these tools, and I lean into everything I've ever done. Love you, Dad. Too many times do I hear people say they hate video editing. It's one of my favorite things to do. I always wanted to be a filmmaker, and it's because of you that I'm achieving that. If it wasn't for your guys' comments, your likes, your shares, all that stuff, I would not be where I'm at today. For sure, you guys are one of the biggest inspirations I have. This shop would have never turned into this had I not started making a few videos. The videos push me to grow and become better and better every time. And I'm going to keep going. And that's all because of you guys. Love and respect.